for this activity, this one is one that we call the pocket solar system, okay? So in trying to fathom or trying to understand just how vast our solar system is and what you see and what looks like here, right? It's pretty hard to do. In order to just get all of our planets right here on one page, we have to reduce things down so small in that respect. So today, what we are doing is we're going to make a model that kind of shows the average of our distances and the various orbits around the sun. So the first thing that we want to do, okay, is we are going to measure out, here we measured out ribbon, okay? Now in the actual guide that NASA gives out, it says to measure out register tape. Now, register tape is actually hard to find. You can find it every once in a while at Walmart. Another thing that you can do with that too, if you don't have ribbon around your house, is actually if you have sheets of copy paper, you can take your copy paper, right? And tape your copy paper end to end and continue to tape it until you make it from one fingertip all the way stretched out to the other fingertip, okay? And that might actually be a lot easier to write on with what we're going to do. So we've got our rainbow ribbon here that we are gonna stretch out from fingertip to fingertip. So see, I have it measured way over here, okay? And what I'm going to do with it is, from where I have it measured, I'm now going to cut it out. All right? So, roughly, this is measuring from fingertip to fingertip. Since this end has a little bit of yellow here, that's the end that I'm going to call our sun. So I'm going to take my pen. So here, because I'm writing on ribbon, I'm actually doing this with a Sharpie marker. I do not recommend using Sharpie markers at home, necessarily, depending on what you're writing on, but I have to for this. So I'm going to write the word sun, although it looks like more it bled the word sun, but I have sun right here written as the beginning of my tape, okay? So on the clear other end, we are going to write Pluto. All right. So here we have our sun on one end and Pluto over here on the other. Pluto gets a nice, beautiful salmon color. Okay, so if this end, okay, was the sun and stretched all the way out, then according to our solar system, Pluto would be at the other end, all right? So let's see where all the other planets would be in between. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold our tape in half, or our ribbon, sorry, in half. We're going to fold our ribbon in half just like so. Okay, so that's my fold point right here, and here are my two ends, Pluto and the sun. Pluto just got a lot warmer, so it is now touching the sun. Okay, and I'm going to crease it and mark this as my halfway point. Now, guess what? My halfway point is Uranus. So we're gonna write Uranus on here. Now that's pretty amazing to think about, okay? That half the distance from the sun all the way over to Pluto is where Uranus is actually situated. That definitely means that Pluto is an exceedingly far distance away. Okay, so now we're going to refold it again so that we can make fourths. Okay, so I took, all right, here's where my Uranus line is, right here. Okay, and if I fold that over again, now I can take on both sides and bring the ends, just the ends like that, back up on either side. So where I made my ribbon, I folded it in half. Now I'm folding my ribbon in fourths, okay? 4 different sections. Each one of these sections is representing 1/4 of the distance between the sun and Pluto. Okay, so you see I have one here, and you see my middle one, and I have this one, and then I have my final one over on the other side. Okay, so let me turn it this way. So that way I continue to have the sun over here to my right. So in the middle of my strip, or the middle of my tape, is Uranus. Okay, so now where I made my crease or fold over here on the left, okay, so half the distance between Uranus and Pluto is where Neptune is going to be. So we'll write Neptune on here. Now I'm just writing my words, okay? I'm just writing my words or my planet names on here. And that's because I'm writing this on ribbon and the type of Sharpie because it's starting to bleed through. But you could also draw the planet on there as well. So half the distance between Uranus and Pluto is Neptune. Now, you guys know your planets, right? We have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus. All of those planets have to fit between the sun and Uranus. So I wonder, what do you think is right here at the halfway point? You want to take a guess? It's actually Saturn, okay? So at the halfway point here is Saturn. So let's take a look at that again. Here we have our belt so far. So here's the sun. All the way at the other end of our strip is Pluto. Just 1/4 of that distance, or we come to Saturn. At 1/2 of that distance, Uranus. At 3/4 of that distance, Neptune, and then finally Pluto. Now let's take a look at that again. Here's Saturn. Here's the sun. We now have to fit 5 planets, and one of them being the largest of our planets, all here in just this space alone. Okay, so now in our last fourth right here, our first fourth, we're going to take and make a crease. So bring the sun up to where you have Saturn, and you're going to fold it in half again. So for this ribbon, I really have to apply pressure to get it folded. But I can use my fingernail to do that. So when I open it up now halfway, I finally get the last of our gas giants in, right? Here is Jupiter. So here's our sun. All right, so this is 1/4. Let's see, and half of this, that would be an 1/8. So in just this 1/8 of a distance, we actually have to fit an asteroid belt, and 4 more planets. Okay? So, but Jupiter is going to be the start of our gas giants. And then as you see, they roll out to Saturn, then on to Uranus, and Neptune, and Pluto. So let's keep making our folds. So now we're going to take our sun and bring it up to Jupiter. Okay, now we can take even 2 if we want right here, and we can make another fold. Okay, 2. Each time you're going to fold it in half by just 1 more. And we're going to fold it just 1 more again. So then we'll label Mars. Put a little heart by Mars. Hoping we get there in my lifetime. We have Earth, Venus, and finally Mercury. And you'll see on this that now we're all getting really, really crowded up towards the top, okay? Up towards our sun. So my sun right here, definitely getting crowded with respect to everything else all the way through, okay? All right, so now I've changed my angle here a little bit so that you can see everything better. So you see we're gonna start with our sun, which I have at the top, right? Then that first fold right here is gonna be Mercury, okay? Then, and you can see it's in that fold right there. So I would recommend like draw on top of that fold. That might be a little bit easier to draw your planet on there. So here's my next one with Venus, and then Earth, Mars. Now think about it, just to get from Earth to Mars right here, for the rockets that leave and then send capsules with robots on their way to Mars now, it can take anywhere from 6 to 7 months just to be able to get to Mars. Whereas to get to the moon, that takes 3 days. Okay, so just this little distance right here to travel in space takes our robots like Curiosity, Spirit, and our most recent ones all take about 7 months, 6 to 7 months. Okay, then we have our asteroid belts, which is very, very close with respect to Jupiter. Jupiter is what actually has more of that gravitational pull for the asteroid belt, which does protect us here for Earth. And then as we continue, right, an 1/8 of a distance right here, we get to Saturn. And as we continue, right, halfway through our ribbon is where we have Uranus. And as we continue on, remember 3/4 of the distance from the start of our ribbon, or where the sun is now Neptune. And then finally, all the way at the end, we have Pluto. Have fun with this one, and we'd love to see just exactly how tall or how long some of these get.